Hey friends, welcome back to my channel. Today, I'm very excited to share with you all the begonias in my collection. If you've watched my last video of my Hoya collection, you know how I feel about that. But nevertheless, I don't have as many begonia, but I do have a few. I think about 7 if I've counted correctly. 7, maybe 8 if you count the one that's growing outside. Also, I just really want to appreciate all the people who supported me and showed me so much love on the last video that I made of all my Hoyas. I just wasn't expecting such a beautiful reception, and it really means a lot. I really appreciate you. If you want to stick around and watch this video to the end, give a comment. I super appreciate that. Don't forget that you're important and you're just as beautiful as all of these plants. And without further ado, let's get into it. The first one is in 2. If I can bring it over here. So this one's looking sad. I'm not gonna lie. It's alive, barely. It's not looking the best. It has looked fantastic before, and I will insert clips and pictures if I have any so that you can see what it once looked like. This is what it looks like now. I think it's just recovering. This is a Begonia Rex. I believe it might be a Rumba, but I'm not 100% sure. So if you know the ID, please leave it in the comments. But yes, this one we got actually at Walmart quite a while ago, and it was tiny. It was actually this size or smaller when we first got it. Again, I'll insert a picture of what it looked like. It has green and red. It has some spotting that looks like nail polish has been splattered on the leaves, which is super cool. These ones, you can see they look really bleached out. Just in comparison to the way it used to look, it's definitely not at its prime, but we're hoping to get it back there. This one's actually doing a lot better, which is a prop or a propagation from this plant, because we accidentally cut off a leaf or a leaf fell off and we were like, oh, let's save it. Let's just try to prop it. And so we propped it, and the prop is doing better than the parent plant. That means that this one is really well acclimated to our home environment. In terms of watering, perhaps what happened to this one is that it went a little bit too long without watering, and then the water that we were using was too acidic. I'd like to make a watering, or how I create the water that we use video about that, so that I can show you what we do now, because I think what we were doing honestly made a lot of our plants unhappy, and a lot of them started dying. A lot of the leaves just started falling off. It started looking sick. We all experience sickness. I am chronically ill, so I'm not saying that it's necessarily like, oh, throw it away if your plant gets sick. It just shows you that it needs different care. It has care needs, and that's the same as all other plants. It's just about figuring out what this plant needs to do its best. That's just like you and just like me. Send all your good vibes to this fellow right here for it to recover as best that it possibly can. Anywho, I think it needs a little bit of a watering, but it's just so precious. It's, oh man, the sparkle on this, like I said, is like nail polish. I love it so much. Again, I think it's really important to get the pH right, and also to make sure that you're watering it when it needs it. The begonia really don't like to get super dried out, so keep them pretty much as moist as you possibly can without causing rot. Basically, you can have a hard time with rot and also powdery mildew on the leaves, so make sure that you are careful while watering, not getting too much water on the leaves, or if you do, put it somewhere where it's gonna have a fan blowing on it, or in a more well aerated area, so that it prevents the mildew from growing, because that can also be damaging to the plant. But this is one of my favorites, honestly, when it was really bushy, full, and dark, and just so nail polishy. It just was stunning, honestly stunning. So I'm hoping to grow this one to that. I'm hoping that one will grow back to that place too. The second one is the Maculata. Where did you go? Over here. This is a little baby Maculata. It's on a stick here because it really likes to jut forward and not grow upward, which is fine. Some people like it to trail, but I'm trying to have it grow more upright. So as you can tell, I'll probably insert some videos here as well. We have it climbing on this pole and we clip it to the pole. You have to be careful with these clips because they can squeeze the stem if you're not careful. So we make sure that the long grippy part is toward the stem, and then the part that could possibly squish the stem is squishing the pole instead. This is a fairly common houseplant that you'll see, a fairly common begonia. I really love it. It's so polka dotty, which makes sense because that's its common name, I think, a polka dot plant. This one has been through some rough times though. It almost completely died a few times. I had to cut it back to this stump and there was only one little leaf growing off of it. And I was really scared. I got this one at the little plant swap shop situation that I was talking about in my Hoya video. And it was a really amazing find. And I love this plant and I obviously wanted to take care of it. I don't know what had happened. I felt like maybe I was overwatering it or underwatering it, but I couldn't tell. And then just a bunch of the leaves just started crumpling up and dying. So I chopped it and I was like, we're gonna save it. And we did. And so I'm really stoked. It has a new growth point. It's doing pretty well where it's located in our dining room area. And it's just stunning. Again, with the nail polish type glisten to these little dots that it has, it's just so iridescent and sparkly and glittery, and I just really love it. This one really does dry out a lot because it's in this tiny little pot. It dries out faster when it gets hotter. I really try to keep on top of this. And again, with the Hoya, I feel the leaves, and if they're dry, they really need water, then I'll water them. If I forget to do it weekly, which I usually water these all weekly, if not more often. And one of the other ones next to me needs to be watered so often, definitely much more than once a week. I don't even know. It slurps up water, so I might have to repot it soon. But this one is doing well. It needs some more soil. It barely has any soil in here. I think it's like when you water it, then some of the pebbles fly out, or like some of the, not pebbles, but pumice. Why did I say perlite? Ew. Yes, pumice. Sometimes the pumice or the orchid bark just like flies out, and then you get left with no soil, so you have to like top it up every once in a while, but I just haven't done it for this one in a while. So anyway, this is my Maculata. What's next? We have the RS. So this one's actually fairly new to our collection. This is called Robert Schatzer. Robert Schatzer. I'll put it on the screen. This we actually got at a Begonia show in Sacramento, which was super cool. They had so many begonia and all were just beautiful. We also got another begonia from that Begonia show that I will be showing you shortly. But this one was just stunning. It also turns blue in certain lighting in the dark. When you shine a light on it, it's iridescent blue, which one of my favorite colors is blue, if you couldn't tell. It's just a showstopper. If you underwater it a little bit, then it can get crunchy, so that's a little want. But anyway, it has this red purple underside, and it shows up as a dark reddish brown, like a burgundy. Yeah, it's like yeah, that's the word. It's a burgundy color, and then that's surrounding these lighter green circles in the center almost, but even those are speckled with the burgundy. And the leaf shape is very different. Honestly, even just like each leaf is a different shape. Some of them look kind of more like this, and then some of them look kind of more like this, so not as even, and maybe that's because the ones that are crusty get deformed. I do need to cut off some of these leaves that aren't doing the best. I just think it's so cool how it puts out all these different shapes of leaves, and also these cute little babies down here. Oh, it's just precious. I thought for a little while that I wasn't doing well because it just, some of them really droop like this and some of them just die off. But honestly, for every one leaf that it loses, 5 more sprout up. So not super concerned. This one's also really velvety, soft, and the stems are really cool. They have these, the pink that's similar on the back of the leaf. This maroony red color is speckled on the stems, and the stems and the leaves have these little baby hairs on them, which I think are super cute as well. RS. This one needs watering very often as well. So when a lot of these leaves start bending downward, that's my cue to water. And it stays pretty moist. Even the little label here is looking moldy, so I tried to peel it off, but it didn't work. Anyway, this one lives in this little pot, and it's so cute. The RS. What's next? The angel wing. Angel wings, I should say, because there's 2 of them. Actually, there's 3 of them. There's these 2, and then there's one living outside, actually. It's very hardy, honestly, because it's just vibing outside. We got it from a friend. Super sweet. They gave it to us just because they're amazing. From that, I'll show you a video, but it's like this very long stem, and right now it only has a few on the top and some on the bottom. We chopped it because it got so bare in that place, in the bottom part. We were like, oh, let's chop it and prop it and see what we can grow from it. So we have not only these ones, but also these ones from it. So it's definitely a very prolific grower, very easy to prop. Most begonia, in our experience, have been really easy to prop, and especially this one. This one has some little stakes in it, and they're also held on by clips. This one appears to be doing, I don't know, they both are doing similarly, I would say. There's 3 props in here, like sticks or whatever, stems in here, and then there's 2 in here, and they're in 2 different locations. So this one is living in, what would that be, a north-facing window? North-facing window in our craft room, and it's doing pretty well, I would say. Oh, it's doing okay. Some of the leaves look like they're kind of crusty. They typically, if they're gonna get crusty, crumbly, and dry, it's gonna be at the tips. So that's kind of what these ones do. This one has less, I think, crustiness. Maybe that's just a product of underwatering, or maybe it just gets too much light. I'm not sure. They also look a little bleached out. Some of them look a little sun bleached. That's not preferable, but I think they're okay. They really don't have a problem growing in the location they're at. It's just about the coloration and the crispiness. So anyway, these 2, similar to the other ones, I feel them, if they feel really floppy and just dry, it's a cue to me that they need water. So I have to make sure that I'm putting them in the right, am I putting these in the right ones? I don't know. What if I randomly switched it up? Would that be bad? I think this one was in here, and I think this one was in here. I could be wrong. But this one is in a south-facing window. So this is getting, I would say, probably more light, and I guess that makes more sense why some of these leaves are more bleached out. Very cute. I've had to cut off quite a few leaves though because they're so bleached out. They just get so dry and really see-through, and that's not my favorite look, so I'll usually cut those ones off. Or if they'll get really yellow, maybe I'll cut them off. I don't know why I did this to myself. Whew, I'm like sweating. What's next? The Sophia Begonia. Oh, I love this one. I also love this pot. Challenging my grip strength. So this is, I believe, Sophia Begonia. I could be wrong. If you have a different idea or think that you might know what this fella is called, please let me know. But we put it in this little plastic cup that has holes. We poked holes in it, cut holes in it, and then it's living in this ceramic pot that we found at Target. This one we also got from our lovely friend, and it's doing wonderfully. It has struggled a little bit in terms of growth. Sometimes it just will stop growing. It'll have a little growth point, but nothing will happen to it. And so sometimes I have to like coax it out. The little growth point will sometimes get crispy. You can tell it wants to fall off, but it's not. And so then sometimes I'll just help it out. This one is poking out. I don't know if you can see it, but this one's poking out, and sometimes I just like to like help it out of its like leaf shaft because it gets kind of squishied in there and I don't want it to like prevent it from growing. So, and it also has these little like growths, they honestly look like thorns that are just poking out at some of the nodes. And I'm guessing those are the growth points, but a lot of them just don't do anything. They just stay pokey, which is fine. I don't really mind. But as you can see, it is kind of like leggy because quite a few of these leaves we've had to cut off because, again, the watering situation. So we've had to cut some of the ones off. Like this one, I think I'm going to cut off just because it's really small. It's getting yellow and it's probably not doing too much for the plant. So I might cut that one off, but then it'll leave this bare side, right? So that's kind of why most of this stem is bare here. But honestly, it's looking gorgeous. It's doing very well now that we fixed the water situation. This one definitely needs water very often, and the leaves are kind of flimsy, so they always feel like it needs water, but I can really tell when it's so floppy and just has no trigger pressure or whatever that is, that it really needs water. But I love this. It's so zigzaggy and beautiful. These new leaves have pink speckles and spots on the inside, and then the older ones, they just turn more silvery. But I think this one is so unique, and so like the leaf gets so dark, and the speckles and the spots are just so gorgeous. I don't know, just the leaf shape, the growth pattern. I just love this. I love it so much. I love looking at it. I look at it every day. Well, I look at all my plants every day, but I just really like it. This one, I guess. But Sophia, Begonia, I believe. Sophia. And this one is growing also in the south-facing window that is on the kitchen dining room table where I filmed my last video. What's next? Fedor. Ooh, disclaimer. This one needs to be pruned, and it has a few leaves that are like on their way out, but it's also the only begonia that has, sorry, I'm on this bouncy ball, but anyway, this is the only begonia that's bloomed for us, which is super cool and exciting. This one blooms all the time. It puts out these really cute little pink fluffy leaves, and there's actually two kinds. One kind of has more of a round inside, and it has some cute leaves surrounding it. And then there's another kind that has these bumps before the flower petals, and the inside is kind of more spirally. They have those two different types of flowers it puts out. And then the leaves, as you can tell, are super cute. I don't know what I was gonna say, luscious. I think I was gonna say luscious, but I was like, I don't know, but I think it's just luscious. I don't know, I think it's luscious. As I said, some of them are on their way out. I think the older ones get less, they're less vibrant, but the newer ones are super just, oh, the veining on it, just like the color, the silver, the inner veining is more red. And then as it goes out toward the perimeter of the leaf, it becomes more green in the veining. And then even the silvery part on the perimeter is purple on these ones, and some of them is purple on the inside. So like a purple silver almost on the inside. And we really liked this aspect of it. There were actually quite a few plants of this type, which is the Fedor, Begonia Fedor. but the one that we wanted was the one that had most of the leaves that had this purpley silver on the inside of the leaf. But we haven't really been able to figure out how to get that to come out of our leaves that it's grown in our care. So that's a little disappointing, but not really because of how just prolific a grower this is. Honestly, it's just shooting out leaves from every possible nook and cranny. And it's blooming. It loves life. And this is the one that needs to be watered more than once a week, literally. And we bottom water it because like there's no way to get water in here because of how lush it is. So we have to bottom water it, which we do with a lot of begonia just because of the tendency to have that powdery mildew we don't want. It also has like a spiral type growth pattern on some of the leaves, not all of them, but some of them have it more pronounced than others. But I think that that's so gorgeous. I really love the spiral growth pattern on the leaf. I love the blooms. I love the veining. I love the color. It's just stunning, out of this world, honestly. It's gorgeous. I think it's probably now become my favorite begonia out of maybe all of these. I don't know. Don't quote me on that. I love you all, but this one is precious. It's precious. I'm just gonna put it here because I don't want my shoulders. What's next? We have our last baby. I just said I didn't want to reach because of my shoulder, but I'm like reaching anyway. That's fine. I'm just gonna ice it later. Anywho, this is a little baby one. I honestly don't even know the name of this one, so I'm gonna have to look it up before I post this video so I can give a suggestion or like a tentative name, but it has the same shape as the angel wing. This was a prop lift. I can't exactly remember where, but I think it was, but I could be wrong. The parent plant had this beautiful pink speckles on it, so pink dots, and I was like, I need that. So I just took it, I put it in our little prop box that has a black base and then a lid that has some ventilation on it that's see-through, and it gets really humid and hot in there. Perfect for propagating begonia. And so that's what we did with this, and then we potted it up, and it is so cute. It's precious, and it has just the cutest pink little speckles, and has, like I said, the shape of the angel wing, but with pink speckles instead of like silvery speckles. And I honestly feel like the speckles are more concentrated on this one. So I'm not sure what this little baby is called, but it's precious, and it's been growing very well in our care just in this window right here. And so has, I think I forgot to mention, but this Fedor has been growing in this window as well, which is a south-facing window. The RS has been growing in the north-facing window. Honestly, pretty low light for what we have in our home, but it's growing pretty well. I think it likes to be in lower light maybe, or maybe that's why it's looking a little leggy in some places. But honestly, if you keep it in lower light, it becomes more dark leaved and more of that blue iridescence comes out. So that's why we keep it in lower light. Anywho, this one is growing right behind me in this south-facing window, and it's in a little tray with another propagation, and I just bottom water them both at the same time by pouring water in that tray. And it soaks up the water. But this one has been growing very well. I haven't need to cut off any of the leaves. This one is so cute. I love it. Just gorgeous. Just the, again, nail polish. Like these, I think I just really like the begonias that look like they have nail polish on them. Maybe it tells me something. Maybe I need to actually paint my nails. But my nails, the nail polish chips on nails, but you can just enjoy nail polish on a plant and it never chips. So if you don't like painting your own nails, just get a begonia. Ooh, sorry. Oh, hi, baby. You're such a sweetie, baby. I'm sorry. Oh, you too, Mr. Melon. Hey, that is it for all of the begonia in my home. The begonia in my collection, or growing in my home. I take care of, my wife takes care of. The dogs sniff sometimes. I really hope that you enjoyed this video. I really enjoyed making it. I love my begonia. They're all so beautiful and nail polishly, sparkly. They bring me so much joy, and I just love taking care of them. I see these plants every day and I just love them, and I hope that my plants inspire you to either get a begonia, or if nothing else, I hope that it's provided some good content, it's provided some good inspiration, some good vibes perhaps, and you're able to enjoy my begonia with me. I think that that's really special, and I really do appreciate every one of you who's watching right now. It means a lot. I just love sharing, and I love sharing my plants. So thank you so much for watching. If you get a chance, please subscribe, like, comment. It all really helps. So I will see you on the next one. And if you have any suggestions for what I should do next, please let me know. Thinking about maybe a full plant tour. Show everyone how beautiful you are. Oh, God damn it. Look at it. No, not babies sleeping. You like good babies.